Okay, let's start from the very first topic, the definition of auditing. So here is the definition of auditing provided by the textbook. So if you read the definition or the nature of auditing, you can understand what is the objective of auditing. Right, is to determine and report on the degree of correspondence between the information and the established criteria. Okay, let me use a financial statement audit as an example. Okay, so the information for the financial audit is financial statements and disclosures. And the established criteria is the US GAAP or IFRS for the international companies. So, although companies are supposed to prepare their financial statements and disclosures according to the US GAAP, but sometimes we know for their own interest, some companies violate the financial statement standards. So we need a third party. The third party should be competent and independent from the information preparer, okay, to determine whether the financial statements are prepared according to GAAP, or to what degree the financial statements and the disclosures are prepared according to GAAP. So actually, auditing lend credibility to the financial statements and the disclosures. So for auditors to express an opinion or reach a conclusion, so auditors should do some analysis. That's actually the accumulation and evaluation of evidence. So the process of auditing actually requires unique skills, experience. So that's why auditing should be done by a competent person. Also, only competent person understand the financial statements and the established criteria. But we also know some famous financial scandals, right? Actually are done by competent persons. Not because those persons lose their independence. So the other very important characteristic of auditor is independent. Let me explain the nature of auditing further through the keywords of this definition. Information and established criteria. And here the information should be verifiable. Okay, and also there are some standards so that the auditors can evaluate the information. Okay, for auditors to reach a conclusion or express an opinion, so the auditors need evidence. Right, so evidence is any information can be used by auditors to make decisions. Okay, so for example, use the financial statement audit as the example. So evidence can be the samples, okay, from the financial statements. For example, the transaction data. Or evidence can be from the communication between the auditors and the outsiders, or communication between the companies and the outsiders. So outsiders can be the customer, suppliers, creditors. Also, evidence can be created by the auditors themselves from observations or inquiries from the client. So here the client means um, the company is being audited by auditors. Okay, this flowchart shows us, the definition of auditing. Okay, only competent and independent person can accumulate and evaluate evidence, okay, so that they can reach a conclusion. Basically, for financial statement audit, the auditors actually express an opinion. So the auditors not only accumulate and evaluate evidence and make decisions, they also need to inform the information users by preparing the audit report. We will talk about the audit report in the later chapter. Also, for the competence and the independent auditor, we will cover more in chapter 4. So here is another example regarding the nature of auditing. So that's audit of a tax return. Okay, the competent and independent person is the Internal Revenue agent. So the agent accumulate and evaluate evidence. So here the evidence is cancelled checks or other supporting records. So the agent use these evaluations to make a decision whether the information is a tax return filed by a taxpayer is prepared according to the Internal Revenue Code and all interpretations. Then the auditor, actually is IRS auditor or the agent, can make a report on the results. So here is a matrix, okay? So based on the information I introduced, just try your best to fill out these blanks. Okay, 3 different informations: who performed, criteria, and nature of evidence based on the slides and the textbook. You can, I will create a forum on my course, and you can discuss this question there.